Pop culture is more than just entertainment. It's a lens into society, relationships, and human behavior. I'm Grace, and here on The Grace Report, we dive into stories beyond the headlines. Whether it's reality TV drama, celebrity scandals, or royal family intrigue, I'm here to break it all down. What it means, why it matters, and how it reflects the world we live in. Join the conversation, share your take, and let's make sense of the culture shaping our lives one story at a time. Good morning, sunshine. How are you feeling on this beautiful Thursday morning? It feels so funny for me to be saying that when it's always the evening for me. I say that all the time, but it's like 4 p.m. for me. But I'm having a great day. Thank you so much for asking. I was thinking about you guys today because I went out to lunch at this place called Zappi, Z-A-P-I. It's this Italian restaurant. Y'all know I don't really care for Italian food like that, but I had a good pizza there. And the restaurant is so well decorated, and it's really central as well. It's near the Louvre and Le Jardin des Tuileries in the first arrondissement. So if ever you guys are looking for somewhere like cool to go visit for like some pizza or Italian food or whatever, I recommend Zappi Restaurant in the First. They have a speakeasy upstairs, and I want to go back for the speakeasy at some point in the summer as well. Who do we have in here? We've got Gala. Gala, you're always like the first, amongst the first. Gala, Tadisha, Ronnie, Venetia, like you guys are always all up there, the first to be leaving messages. Thank y'all so much. I appreciate you guys. Good morning, good morning, good morning. We've also got Linda in the house. We've got Kahara, Miss Queen, Keisha. We've got Cynthia, Paprika. So nice to have all of y'all here. Zoe's back. Nice to see you, Zoe. So nice to see you. K Miner's back. Umu's here. Madeline's here. Jody's here. Wow. Welcome. K-Car, Jenny, Alexa, Christine, and everybody watching from the bushes. How are y'all doing? It's Thursday, y'all. We're so close to Friday. Can I tell you how jealous I am? Well, not really, because I really enjoy talking to you guys every day. I think I'd go crazy if I didn't. But thinking about the corporate world and what my corporate life used to look like versus theirs. The French don't work in August. A lot of people, unless you're in hospitality, tourism, or whatever, they're not working. So everyone's talking about how they're so excited, only a couple days of the working season until they could take a full month off. And I'm like, wow, must be nice. When I was working in Canada, having 2 weeks off was such a luxury, but a whole month like that, insane. So jelly. Hey, Huckleberry. Huckleberry says, good morning, everyone. I've missed these lives. 2 weeks ago, my 4-year-old dog had a 38-minute seizure and passed away. I just hadn't felt social until today. I love these lives and all the people in here. I'm so sorry to hear about that, Huckleberry. Oh my goodness. Rest in peace to your dog, your sweet, sweet dog. Only 4 years old too. Wow. So devastating. We're keeping your pup in our prayers. Thanks so much for sharing that with us. And I hope that today's morning report will be able to help lift your mood and, help you get through this time. We've also got Emily here who says, good morning. I love the playback. Excited to make a live. Well, we're happy to see you here in the live, Emily. Thanks for joining us. And good morning to you too, Steph. Indeed, Steph. Honestly, that was just such a heartbreaking story. Y'all know I love me some dogs. I love dogs. So to hear something like that is just, wow, truly heartbreaking. We're with you, Huckleberry. We're with you, Boo. We're praying for you and for your dog. You guys, this story, the first one on our agenda here for today's episode, really took me by surprise. I know Brigitte had threatened to sue Candace Owens a while ago, but I had no idea that she would actually full-blown follow through. I'm still shook, y'all. Truly, I am still shook by all of this because literally, what the heck, So as you guys are aware, Candace Owens has been accusing Brigitte Macron of being transgender for a very long time. She said that she's got evidence that this is the case, that, the rumors that she has a brother are not true. You've never seen her and her brother in the same room because she is her quote unquote brother, right? And Brigitte has finally had enough and she has filed a full-blown lawsuit, which is absolutely groundbreaking. When is the last time you heard about a first lady suing somebody for defamation, especially an international commentator, right? Absolutely insane. So in the complaint, oh, and you know what else? Her husband, Emmanuel Macron, the president of France, is also a plaintiff in this. So the first page of the complaint reads, and I quote, or reads as follows: in March 2024, Candace Owens, a right-wing podcaster, told the world she would, quote, stake her entire professional reputation on the fact that Brigitte Macron, the First Lady of France, is in fact a man. Since then, Owens has used this fake statement to promote her independent platform, gain notoriety, and make money. Owens disregarded all credible evidence disproving her claim in favor of platforming known conspiracy theorists and proven defamers. And rather than engage with President and Mrs. Macron's attempt to set the record straight, Owens mocked them and used them as an additional fodder for her frenzied fan base. Owens did not stop there. Retaliating against the Macrons for the audacity of sending her a retraction demand, Owens helmed an 8-part podcast series entitled, quote, Becoming Brigitte, the series, and accompanying X posts. So listen, they mean business, y'all. They mean business. It has officially been signed, sealed, delivered, and, and served to Candace Owens and her production company as well. And here's the thing. It's very black and white, right? If Brigitte is suing you, it's because it's not true, and she could very easily prove it. Like, you could easily prove a person's sex, right? Just take a look at the damn chromosomes, right? You're going to see that she has XX chromosomes, and she was born a woman, right? This is so childish on Candace's part, and it's going to cost her an insane amount of money. And, listen, I don't think it's going to cost her reputation, because she's a liar, right? And she just gets off on kind of just riling people up, whatnot, and being controversial. So, and I think her base isn't necessarily looking for the truth. They're just looking for entertainment. So I don't think that this is going to kill her reputation particularly, right? Again, this is an unprecedented move on Brigitte Macron's part. A sitting head of state suing a foreign citizen is extremely rare, right? And so according to sources close to Brigitte, she has told them that the global spread of these allegations has deeply traumatized her, especially considering the fact that Candace Owens has spent over a year making these very serious allegations. And a lot of people, based on these allegations, have come to Brigitte with lots of threats, including threats of ending her life and whatnot, right? Just very, very crazy. Candace also accused her of involvement in identity theft, fraud, and even red rum as well. So their attorney is Claire Locke, a prominent U.S. defamation law firm known for representing conservative media figures. And so, you guys, take a long look at Brigitte Macron. Listen, and here's my thing. Even if she were born a man, who cares? Like, why is this like your whole thing? Like, I have to expose this. Who cares? Who cares? Like, don't you have other stories? Like, you were going viral for your Blake Lively stories. Why did you have to kind of come back and resort to this nonsense about something that is so easy to debunk? All she has to do is, doesn't she just have to get like a little simple swab done, and I'm just going to say very clearly that she is a female? That's crazy. It's not yet clear how much money Brigitte is suing Candace for, but Lord, I hope she goes for the maximum at this point. Candace has been spreading very, very damaging things against people for a very long time. So I, for one, I'm actually kind of happy to see her finally get sued for this. You can't just keep running your mouth, making such serious allegations against people and coasting. I know her husband and his family are rich and everything, but still, this is unfair. Anyway, I'm really looking forward to seeing what you guys have to say. Those of you watching live, leave your thoughts in the live chat, or if you're part of my playback posse, please let me know what you think in the comments section, and we'll chat over there. Good morning, Shannon. Nice to see you. Yo, Amy. Good morning. Good morning, Ruby. Please send prayers. I've not been feeling good. I've been feeling pain in both hands. Oh, God, sending you all the prayers. Ruby, get well soon. So sorry to hear that. Get well soon, okay? Get well soon. And while you guys are at it, please continue to send in your prayers for Huckleberry, her family, and her late dog as well. Good morning, Kayla. Nice to see you. Aren't the greens popping? Thank you. Listen, I'm finally feeling the colors again. Sometimes when the weather is really, really gloomy, I go to all black. But now that the weather's picking back up, I'm coming back into colors. So Huckleberry says, these podcasters that spread crazy false conspiracies deserve to be sued. I completely agree. I'm against rich and powerful people like abusing the legal system to sue people to silence them. But when you're out here spreading this type of nonsense and garbage, get your ass sued. Let's go. Let's go. Come defend yourself in court, Candace. Since you have such irrefutable proof, this should be a no-brainer for you. This should be extremely simple, shouldn't it? How embarrassing for her, right? But she has no shame. So I'm sure she's not even embarrassed or ashamed in the slightest. Good morning, Amelia. Good morning, RL. So nice to see y'all here. Callie says, thoughts on how old she was when she met her husband when he was a child. Oh, don't even get me started. Too damn old to be creeping with children. Ew, creep. That's what I think. If you want to come for Brigitte Macron, talk about how she's a creep. Talk about how she's a groomer. Talk about these things. But oh, you were born at this. Who cares? Who freaking cares, right? Thank you so much, RL. That is so nice of you. Linda says, she reminds me of Jane Fonda. You know what? That's a really good comparison. She really does look like her in this photo. So if they were ever to do a biopic on Brigitte, they should definitely go to Jane Fonda. I totally see it. You have a good eye, Linda. You really do. Hey, Kaylin. Hey, Gwen. Hey, Lynette. Nice to see y'all here. Zoe says that is Candace's point. The first lady must prove it. So here's the thing. It's so easy. Don't you just need a freaking cheek swab or something like that? Don't you just need something really quick and then boom, it's proven? Like, it's not going to take much for Brigitte to prove it, and this is going to cost Candace a lot of money. I wonder how much they're seeking. I'm really, really looking forward to seeing that. So now why don't we get into, oh yes, Stephanie had asked me. I did see that update and I do have it planned for later on in today's show. Okay. So there is an update on Malcolm Jamal Warner, our beloved actor, child actor, who passed away on vacation in Costa Rica while swimming with his daughter. I'm going to bookmark your comment, Steph, so that I can bring it up when we get to the story about him and what exactly happened that led to him ultimately, tragically losing his life. Okay. So why don't we get into our next story, you guys? We're going to talk about Tyla. I think there might be a recession indicator, okay? Like there's a lot of recession indicators going on right now. First of all, you got Beyonce and Jay-Z taking out like a third mortgage on their mansion, which is, I imagine they're going to use that money to invest in maybe a new business, a tour or something like that. I don't know, but it was definitely worthy. And now Tyla just published a TikTok in which she says that she has to do her own hair for a concert that she did in Barbados because the label didn't have any budget for her to have a hairstylist. Like, kudos to her for being very open about like the situation and everything. But yeah, like guys, this is a recession. It's real, y'all. Take a look at what she had to say about it all, okay?
Get ready with me for my show in Barbados. Listen, guys, I like my makeup. I've styled my own hair because the budget. So I have to I'm going to try to curl a few pieces and then see if I can spread it out or something. But hopefully, the only thing I'm hoping is that it doesn't look empty on stage because I have a whole light behind me. So, and I'm also trying to figure out like what outfit I wear because I have two options. One is like a dress and I've never done it. So I'm a bit like, because it might look hectic with the dance moves. But it might make me look like a woman. The other one is safe. So either I do the safe option or I just like, okay, I'm on the way to Barbados, Tipsy Fest. I'm excited, it's about to be fun. I'm with Fairly and I'm with Jason. They don't want to say hi.
Hi. So there you go. Tyla says that they cut her budget. She had to do her own hair. Listen, I did get to watch her videos of her performance in Barbados. Y'all know I love Tyla, right? And she looked absolutely beautiful. She did a fantastic job with her hair. I loved her outfit. And, from the sounds of it, she was her own stylist as well, right? So, I don't understand why that is. Like, to me, like she has been like a rising star. Like she came out of nowhere and has been crushing it. Right? Like, look at this photo of her, how iconic she was at her very first ever Met Gala. Like, she's got hit song after hit song. Like, so why is it that they're cutting her budget? Like, is she underperforming? But like, based on what metrics? Like, to me, is she not doing well? You know, or is it just like the whole recession that we're all in, like, you know, as a collective? I don't know, but that definitely did stick out to me. Listen, I love me some Tyla. I want to see them put proper backing and funding towards her so that she can continue to take off. Like, we need Tyla, we need her music. And so I definitely, you know, am rooting for her. Zoe says they can't afford a hairstylist. Nah, that's her niece. LOL. She needs donations, right? You know, and I feel like she probably could have invested her own money in that if she really wanted to, right? How much does a hairstylist cost? I don't know, but it can't be that much. Oh, Zoe. Zoe sent me no, you're supposed to send this to Tyla, Zoe. Okay, listen, let me talk to Tyla's manager, see how I can get her your Thank you, Zoe. Zoe says, go fund me for Tyla, please. Girl, you scared me. I thought I was coming here to fight. No, I am a tiger. I love Tyla. I think she's so beautiful. I think she's so funny. I am obsessed with her beautiful accent. I love the way she rolls her R's and everything. In this house, we stand Tyla, okay? Miss T says, Tyla isn't working out to be the investment her record label thought she'd be. She released a song about a week ago. Nobody gives an F. Are you serious? Because I loved her album. I loved everything that she's put out so far. I heard her new song. I don't know what it's called, but I thought it was good too. Like, what? I'm so disappointed. Like, I thought that she had been doing a really good job. So when I heard this, I was really surprised. So no, she didn't end up wearing the dress. She wore like this flowy top with these like kind of baggy like shorts. It was like blue and it had these pom-poms on it. And it was really, really cute overall. She did a fantastic job styling herself from top to bottom. Acacia says, none of them are doing well. They're in the same boat as us. Well, that's what it's looking like. Remember when it happened, the COVID happened, and then all these celebrities opened up about how it's all smoke and mirrors and like they're not rich. Like we think they're rich and stuff. Like, yeah, like the cracks are showing. They really are, you know? So like on the one hand, it's like, okay, like, you know, like now I don't feel so bad, right? Like that I don't have a private jet or a Lamborghini, but at the same time, it's like, damn, where can I get access to these smoke and mirrors? I want to experience like a freaking Lambo, you know? Milan says, I don't like Tyla. She's so people compare her to Rihanna, but Riri's more likable and down to earth. Really? I love them both, but don't forget, Rihanna's mean. Rihanna, before she calmed down, she was mean. Remember, she had that fan who tried to recreate this onesie that she did, like it was like this forest green, and then she had that mushroom blonde haircut. And the fan did a fantastic job. And then, like, she showed it to Riri because she was so proud. She sewed it herself. Riri reposted it, mocked her, and let her fan base mock her too. Like, she's so mean, but like, you know, she's funny at the same time. Like, I don't know. I feel like Tyla so much, guys. Really? Chelsea doesn't like Tyla either. Damn. Why? I think she's so freaking cute. Oh my God. So Paprika, I got this message from this person, and I don't know why, because we've been having a really good show, just, you know, positive vibes. And she comes in and she says I was ignorant. I was like, girl, what? Maybe she's like transphobic and she didn't like that I called out Candace's transphobia towards Brigitte Macron because that's where we were in our live. But I don't know. It was very weird. So I had to like ban and block her. I said, girl, you're not about to bring that energy over here. We're having a good time. We don't need this. And Crystal, yes, I did hear about it. I think we discussed it in yesterday's episode of the Morning Report. Very, very sad stuff. May he rest in peace. Stephanie says, Bad Gallery is my true love and my husband knows. Ooh, sounds like she's your hall pass. Listen, speaking of hall pass and like girl crushes, you know who I'm obsessed with right now? There's this British artist, and Tyla actually put me onto it because Tyla was like dancing to this song. I was like, oh, that's a cool song. And then the comments, they said, oh, like, is this her coming out as a lesbian? I said, what do they mean? And so they kept on talking about this KWN. And I was like, oh, like KWN. So I go and I look, and KWN, I guess K1 is how you pronounce her name. She was saying that Tyla is her celebrity crush, right? And so I went to her page. Y'all, that girl turned me out. I said, what? Not me having like a girl crush on this girl. And it's just so funny to me. So anyway, like Steph's celebrity girl crush is Rihanna. For me, it's KW1 or K1. Like, oh Lord, she's coming to Paris in October, y'all. I think I'm going to go to her show. Acacia says, Def like Riri more. And I get it. You know, Riri's been around for a long time. She's given us so many hits, right? Over like decades. So I get it. Absolutely. Tyla's still new. And, you know, I am hoping that like her label continues to invest in her. And I'm hoping that, you know, some of you who may not like her right now might grow to like her eventually, because I love her so much. And Amy says she reminds her of Twigs for some reason. Really? That's so interesting. Because, you know, Twigs, oh, by the way, when she was doing her new album, Eusexua, I think it's called, like, oh, she could have been a model. She was just, wow, absolutely crushing it in the photo department. She looked absolutely amazing in every single photo. You guys, by the way, if you're enjoying today's episode of The Morning Report, please don't hesitate to go ahead and give it a thumbs up so YouTube knows you enjoy my content. We've got to talk about our girl, Miss Wendy Williams, okay? Wendy was photographed still celebrating her birthday with her personal attorney, and TMZ caught up with them to talk a little bit about where she's at as far as her guardianship is concerned. And it looks like Wendy is ready to go ahead and sue those people ASAP. Take a look at what it is that she and her lawyer have to say. Don't forget, if you're enjoying today's episode of the show, please go ahead and give it a thumbs up to support me.
We missed you going in. You look so different outside your work clothes.
Yeah, I just got my ASAP Rocky suit, huh?
I love that. So, you know, we have to ask you, Joe, what's next? I mean, you know, what's next in you know, trying to get her out of the guardianship? I know it's a very big question, but
what's next is hopefully justice. I mean, it's been so long, and I'm not a guardianship attorney. I'm Wendy's personal attorney, but this process is really despicably slow because she's in a facility. And Wendy's Wendy. We've had conversations over the course of 6 months. She's the same Wendy Williams that you know from TV. Yeah. Right? And so she belongs in a facility like, you know, I belong in a facility. Well, actually, that might be a good example. Some might argue I belong in a facility. But this is a person who is control of her faculties and is a great human being. And it sickens me, honestly. This is not even about a case for me. It's about a cause. And I'm going to do everything.
I just had a birthday and I'm still in guardianship. If that doesn't say enough, I don't know what does.
Now I have a question. How many other people have reached out to you asking for your help? Because when she had her protest outside of, you know, her building, a lot of people were coming up to me saying, you know, I support Wendy because I'm going to sue with someone I love. Have you gotten phone calls from people?
Oh, so many. Right now, my focus is on Wendy, and I have to get her through this.
Right.
I'll deal with that later, but I will tell you this. It is scary, this guardianship process. Once you get in the vortex of the guardianship proceeding, it's hard to get out. Even if you're like Wendy.
Yeah, you know, famous. Everyone knows.
Believe me, I had Fresco Bastados because I am allowed. It's not because I should be, you know. I look beautiful because I work out, because that's all I do in the building, and I know that for a fact.
Right.
You know, I've been working out for years. However, that's all I do when I'm locked in this building.
Right. Now I have a question. I know it's kind of a tricky question, but can we see a potential lawsuit down the line, given the way she was?
Those who are responsible for her status, her basically incarceration, will be held accountable. There's no question about that. My goal right now, and the priority, is to get her back home. Wherever home is, not there, where she can come go as she pleases.
Right here in New York, where I'm working, and you know what kind of stuff I want to do. As a matter of fact, we just met somebody very familiar with. Well,
she wants to get back to work, and she should get back to work.
Right.
People love her. I get more calls in support of her than I've ever had for any client, ever.
So there you go. Wendy is still looking and sounding as lively as ever. And now she's looking very hopeful about suing everybody responsible for her conservatorship. Do y'all think she's going to start with her son who got her in this mess in the first place? Just asking. Just asking, right? And at the very end, she said that they are currently working on certain things. She wants to get back to work. She's working on some things. So, you know, it sounds a little bit promising that maybe she might be back, but to be honest, she's been saying this since 2020, and it's been 5 years. And, you know, she was saying this even prior to the conservatorship, right? A podcast or this or that. And it just never really worked out that way, unfortunately. But I do hope that this time it's different. Huckleberry says it's crazy to watch the Wendy situation. It's like watching a hostage situation. And we as the public are helpless while the courts are the one of the hostage takers. Absolutely wild. And I agree with you, girl. I agree with you. In fact, again, this reminds me of that show that y'all told me to watch, or sorry, I should say the movie. It's available on Netflix, and it's called I Care a Lot. Conservatorships are big business, and they can be used to abuse people. And it really looks as though that is what is happening with Wendy Williams at this point. And it's just disgusting to bear witness to. Tadisha says, I miss my girl on TV. Even if she doesn't return on TV, she's given the world enough. And same here. She is one of one, and we miss her so damn much. Milan says, only in America. Listen, you know, the almighty dollar. Do not even get me started, right? Emily says, Wendy needs to get out and get on our TV. Exactly, you know, and that just goes to show you the impact that she had, that we still miss her so much. And it would just feel like everything were right with the world again if she were to come back. There's just been so many incredible stories that her voice would have just been so powerful for. I would have loved to know what she'd had to say about so many of these stories that recently broke, but there have been so many, I can't even like just name them, right? Like, oh my God, what about you guys? Like, what story that has broken ever since Wendy was put in her conservatorship and stopped working and stopped filming the Wendy show? What stories would you have loved to hear her opinion on, like on the hot topics? This is a mic check. Let me know, okay? And if you're part of the Playback Posse, let us know in the comment section. But for now, we're going to start off with the live chat. I'm really, really curious about that. I'm trying to think like the Kanye stuff, like the Kanye with like the KKK or like the Nazi thing. I want to know what she would have thought about the Bezos wedding. I want to know what she would have thought about like everything. Like there's just so freaking much to even think about, right? Kahara says, Wendy looks good. I'm glad she can leave the facility and get food and hang out. At least there's that, right? Thank God there's that. But it's sad that she even has to ask permission as a grown woman to be able to even do that. Amy says, I feel so sad. No, sorry. So sad for Wendy. She's struggling, sick, and all of this is being exploited in addition to the guardianship. I miss her show. Same here. She's been through so much, honestly. Please continue to keep her in your thoughts and prayers, and just stay updated on whatever it is that they tell us that we can do to help get her out. Like, we've had the hashtags, we've signed the petition, so I don't know what else is left for us to do, but thank God, like, she is able to sue, right? But is that going to be enough? I don't know. At this point, like, it feels like such a helpless situation, right? Jinx Farah. Melissa says, Wendy should sue her son. Exactly. Sue your damn son. Your son is the one who got you in this mess, unfortunately. Such a greedy, like, just, I can't believe it. Hey, Jaleesa, nice to see you, boo. I'll give you a quick recap for you, Jaleesa, and everybody else who's just tuning in. At the top of the episode, we talked about Candace Owens being sued by Brigitte Macron for all of her claims that Brigitte is trans. Tyla having her budget cut by her record label, and now we're on to the Wendy Williams story, and we've got plenty more. We're going to talk about Tyson Beckford saying that all of this is Wendy's karma. Jenelle Evans having Tori move to Vegas and them launching a podcast together. Then we're going to get into 16 and pregnant star Whitney Purvis getting arrested again for violating her probation. Meghan Markle and Prince Harry's $100 million Netflix deal not getting renewed, and lots more. Okay. Thanks for asking, by the way, Jaleesa. So nice to be able to do a recap and a preview. Miss T says, that movie is terrifying, isn't it? Because it's true. It's real. It's true. And you guys, yes, listen, this Diddy stuff, I can't even believe it, right? You're right. The Diddy stuff. Can you imagine her talking about the Diddy of it all? She would have been having a freaking field day. I think she would have been doing the whole guards thing as well. I think that's where I got it from. Remember how she used to be like, good morning, inmates, like that sort of thing. Like, that always made me laugh every time she did it. Star says, I miss Wendy. Even if she's released, I wonder if she will jump into this very reporting and journalism world. I hope she does. We need her so freaking bad. And you're right, Jaleesa. It would have been great to hear her talk about J-Lo and Ben getting divorced so quickly too, right? For round 2. Star says, I would have loved to hear her opinion on the Diddy and Jay-Z drama, Ben and Jen, everything. The diddler and coming for 50 Cent for being a deadbeat dad. Yup. Steph also says, I want her to talk about my girl Cardi and trash ass Offset. Yeah, and Trump. Like, they're finally getting to divorce. Finally, right? Yeah, it would have been nice to hear what she had to say. Hey, Nikki. So great segue. Nikki, weren't you the one who gave us a segue for yesterday's episode of the Morning Report too? You're on a roll, girl. You're on a roll. So yes, Tyson Beckford. Do you guys remember that model? Well, he doesn't feel too bad for Wendy Williams about her guardianship situation. In fact, he says it's her karma. She deserves it. Okay. And let me tell you, or actually I could show you why he's saying that. So he actually said this in an interview with The Breakfast Club. And so you can go ahead and hear it in his own words right here, right now.
My jersey been retired a long time ago.
Yeah, me too, bro.
I wasn't no player, though. I didn't.
No, okay.
But you Tyson Beckford.
But see, that's the thing. They put that label on you, and you stuck with it. Because there's only 2 labels they hit you with in the industry. 1, you're either gay, or 2, you're a playboy, or what's the third one? Oh, you just like white women. I dated like 3 white women my whole life, and then boom, I'm stuck with this title. Right. So another reason I got on the show was to try to kill all of that stuff right there. You know, she's not around no more. She's not on radio no more. But we know,
Wendy Williams?
That one started the rumor. I don't know why she started that rumor on me, but you know what? Karma hit your ass. Good for you.
God damn.
It's her birthday.
Yeah, no, I'm not. Hey,
damn.
No F's given. I'm gonna try not to swear.
Y'all haven't made up.
Yeah,
it's her birthday.
No
Y'all
F's
celebrating her
given.
birthday this week and all that?
I don't give up. You
Tyson said, I don't care.
And me and Tretch feel the same way. Her karma's come to her. You just talking people business, making up stuff. You know what I'm saying? Why? To get clout, radio? Nah, stop that.
You want to know what's interesting?
Because I called Kevin in the street one day. Yeah, Kevin, you don't want this.
Her ex-husband?
Yeah, and then he gonna call like all my Jamaican crew and say, yo, go done the boy. Them say, what? Becky? No, sir. I would brethren that.
Where you caught him at?
Caught him at the car wash.
In Jersey?
Yeah, buddy.
And what happened?
Had that Glock on me.
What the hell?
Yeah.
What the hell's going on?
Oh, I stay with it. I stay with it.
You used to do that back in the day too? I didn't know.
What the hell?
I stay with it. I got license for Jersey, license for New York. I got license for everywhere. I got about 6 of them.
There you go. Tyson said, pull up or shut up. He's got the Glock. Not the Glock 3000. That's some of y'all got. But he's got the Glock, okay? So I want to know what y'all think about that. He was hurt personally by Wendy Williams. And so for him, her being in the situation that she's in is just her karma. Which, listen, that's a really harsh thing to say, absolutely. But I think that when someone hurts you to like a very, very deep level, sometimes you just, you know, you get to that point where you're like, I do not care what happens to this person. This is not a good person. This is a rotten person. And I don't feel that way about Wendy Williams, right? But she's never done anything to me personally, right? So if that's how he feels and that's, you know, how he feels he was treated by her or put on blast by her, then it is what it is, right? Miss T says, listen, Tyson's not wrong. And Wendy herself said this could be her karma. Wendy exploited a lot of people's weaknesses and private moments for a hot topic. Now she's everyone's hot topic. The one that comes to mind the most that still does make me sad, listen, I love her, but I got to be real, was the cancer story. There was an artist whose wife had cancer. They were not public about her cancer, and somehow Wendy had access to her medical records, and she broke that information on air over the radio. And so that's how their loved ones found out about her health situation. And that was a really, really hard moment for them and their family. And so it's things like that where, you know, when people tell me that they hate her or this or that, or she's evil, like those are the moments that I think about. Again, I don't feel that way about Wendy. Like I really do like her, but there are some people who have a justifiable or a justified hatred towards her. Just saying. And you know what, Star? That would be a good one. I would want to know what she has to say about that. Because what the hell is going on with Nikki? All that beauty, all that success, all that talent, just to do all this nonsense, right? Good morning, Alyssa. Nice to see you again. Melissa says Tyson's apparently in the gang. Listen, when he's talking about having Glocks everywhere and his crew and whatnot, yeah, I'm not surprised. But why? What's the point of being in a gang? Like, it seems so lame. Like, being in a gang sounds like the lamest thing ever. I'm sorry. Like, it's just like such a loser activity. Tadisha says, join a knitting club. You know what I mean? Not like a violence club. Like, weird. Tadisha says, or a running club, right? What a loser. People act like Wendy invented Hot Topic. She just spoke her mind, and just as people do at the kitchen table. And I can see that too, right? Like there are just so many like really extremely varying opinions of Wendy. And, you know, like for me, I fall somewhere in the middle, you know, more towards like really, really liking her. I really do like her. I found her so entertaining. She was a part of my like routine, right? And so, you know, that's also part of this inspiration for doing the morning report, you know, of like you guys becoming a part of my routine and then me hopefully becoming a part of your routine, right? Like weekdays at 10 a.m. EST, y'all. Nikki says a lot of wolves feel this way about her, and I get it, but or maybe you were saying celebs, but what they are doing to her should scare them. If they can do Wendy like this, they will do anyone like this. And that is the thing too. Sometimes people have a serious hatred of a person or a group of people, right? And so they use that to justify injustices that these people are facing, right? Or this particular person. But you really do have to look at it that way too sometimes, right? Like Nikki's saying, like an injustice to one person or one group of people is a threat to everybody. If they can get away with this on Wendy or a certain group of people, what's to stop them from trying it on you too? You know, like don't cheer for that sort of thing. It could turn around on you too. Just saying. And not even in a karmic way, just in a look at this. This is a predatory industry kind of a way. And you are somebody who's also rich, just like Wendy. And somebody could try to, you know, get access to your money in this way, right? And yeah, I can agree with you too, Acacia, a little bit too much. You know, like, I don't know, like, it's okay to like have a dislike or whatever. But when you kind of like proudly gloat about somebody being like in hell, right? In the worst place in their life, like that's kind of ugly, right? Hey, Cammy, nice to see you, boo. And this is going to be an extra long live. So you're here just in time. Our next story is going to be the Jenelle story, by the way. Teresa says, they always say karma when it comes to women, but how about Charlemagne? He's right there and does the same ish. Miss me with it. And that's the thing, right? That's the thing. Like somehow like women are always treated or judged much harsher than men for doing the same thing. And mind you, let's talk about the stuff that Charlemagne has been accused of in general, like against women, right? Violence against women and whatnot. Like he's got some very serious allegations against him. Just saying, right? Method Man, thank you. That's the one. Yeah, she exposed his wife for having cancer. And that was a really, really traumatic time for them. Zoe says Wendy was not the only one to talk about him allegedly being gay, right? Yeah. She's not. So why is it that you're particularly after her? Is it because she had the biggest platform? I don't know. Huggleberry says carrying a Glock because Wendy said you're gay is so dramatic and unnecessary, right? Like, what is that about? Like, it's so lame. I'm sorry, but gang life just sounds so lame. A says it was Method Man's wife and was the only time she was truly out of line. The other stuff, it wasn't her. If it wasn't her, it would have been anybody. And we watched and wanted to hear it. So who's really wrong? Oh, that's the tea, right? It's so easy to say this person, like they shouldn't have done this, that. But are we still tuning in, y'all? Low key, we are. Thanks for dragging us, A. Points were made, boo. Points were made. Listen, y'all, why don't we get into this Jenelle Evans story before I get a little bit too parched, okay? So disgraced former Teen Mom 2 star Jenelle Lauren Evans has a massive update for us. Shout out to the Ashley's Reality Roundup for recapping this. So Jenelle has let it be known that she is not returning to North Carolina anytime soon. She loves being in Vegas and she's going to be staying there. There are more opportunities and just less emotional baggage, right? Because her history there is a lot shorter. And so she says that because her old house has too many bad memories from her life with her ex-husband, dog killer, unemployed David Eason, she's happy where she's at in Vegas and she doesn't really like going back there. She might still keep it as a vacation home, but she's never going to live there ever again, right? So in her TikTok live, Jenelle Evans said that her best friend, or on and off again, best friend Tori, is moving to Vegas to live with her. And I'm actually quite surprised about this because these two, it's only been a little bit of time that they are back on as far as their friendship is concerned. And we saw what happened the last time they lived with each other. Wasn't there like this big like fist fight and everything between them and their boyfriends and everything? And then it ended with Jenelle with drumsticks in her hands. Leave me alone. And she had like the veins popping out of her forehead and she's screaming and her head is like shaking. Like it was bad, right? So I do worry about how things will go the second time around. Granted, they won't be, overstuffed in the house with like their own boyfriends and whatnot living there as well. But still, I don't know that their friendship is strong enough to handle cohabitation, but I digress. So in addition to Tori moving to Vegas to live with Jenelle has also announced that the two of them are going to be launching a weekly Besties podcast. And you can expect to potentially see some guests come and join them on their podcast. And she also says that she's going to be including Tori in some of her blogs, and that their chemistry on camera and whatnot and off camera as well is really strong, which, okay, girl, This is giving a little bit like of a soft launch of something else, but I digress. And yeah, this is like the second or third time that Jenelle has threatened to release a podcast. She did do it once, and then she kind of quit after 2 or 3 episodes or something like that. So is she actually going to stick to it this time around? I don't know. I do have to admit, though, that it might be a little bit easier to do it alongside a friend than just alone, because, you know, podcasting alone, like, listen, I've never tried it, because it just feels like, what do? Do I just like sit here and talk? Like, you know, at least with the lives and whatnot, like I'm chatting with you guys. I'm seeing you guys' comments come in, like we're chatting together, right? Or when I do my short videos, it's very short. It's like 10 minutes, 12 minutes max, you know, so you could get it. But like to sit there and talk to yourself for an hour, oh my God, it sounds super daunting. So perhaps this time around, it's going to work. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. We'll see. Well, Jenelle, I seen you with Tori. Star. Oh my God. She truly is. Listen, and don't let her forget it. That is forever our disgraced former Teen Mom 2 star. Who is Jason living with now? Great question, Shy. He is living with Jenelle still. Yeah, the whole trip to living with his father, blah, blah, in Florida did not last long at all. And, the house that she bought, it was actually really cheap. I don't think it even cost $100K. And I think that they bought it outright or something like that. So yeah. She's pretty good as far as that is concerned. So you know what? Even if she turns it into an Airbnb or something like that, she could be making a pretty good income from that, potentially. I don't know. All I know is it's in the boonies in a swamp or something like that with like marshland. So I don't know if people are trying to go out there. Like if there's a lake nearby, maybe they can market it that way, but I'm not too sure. But she does make a pretty penny off of OnlyFans, apparently. BY says, Wendy never spread hate. She only spoke about current topics, and she was so talented at it. She was born to do that. She really was. Huck says, Tori and Jenelle are going to be fist fighting in the front yard again. Exactly. This is not going to last. I'm sorry. Allie says, hopefully it's soon. She's got the popcorn. Do you eat salty popcorn or sugary popcorn? Because I did not know that grown people ate sugary popcorn, but here it's like a really popular thing. When you go to the movie theaters, they'll be like, do you want salty popcorn or sugary? I'm like, who eats sugary popcorn? Really? Feels criminal. No offense if you're part of the sugary popcorn eating community, but like, woof. Unless it's like caramel popcorn, that works, you know, but like just sugar in your popcorn. Oh my God. Tadisha says, I'll never forget that fight on Teen Mom. LOL, that room was a mess. It surely was. Good times, y'all. Good times. Nikki says, I'm sick of her and Tori. I say Tori like Barb. Where's Barbara now? Do you think Barbara's got a new boyfriend? How's she doing, I wonder? Hopefully she's living her best life. Kayla says, I'll never forget Jenelle and Kiefer versus Tori and her man. Remember that? Yes, the good old days. You know, it's like that expression goes, I wish there was a way to know we were in the good old days before they passed. Like, we didn't know how good we had it back then. We really didn't. Honestly, when David came along, he ruined everything. He truly did. So she says, Jenelle can't live with anyone, not even her own kids. That's a good one. You know, it's funny, but it's also sad because it's true. Not even her own kids. Sarah says, Tori, pow, that girl, Jenelle and Kiefer were strung out, right? How do you pick up from that? Like, it's crazy that they won't even let each other go, you know? Like, that's crazy to me. Like, I don't know what kind of like voodoo those girls are putting on each other, but it's crazy. They will not leave each other alone. Amy says, are you kidding? LOL. She's trying to be like Kale and Becky. You think do you think Becky's going to eventually, because Becky's talking about going like down to Delaware to stay weekends with Kale for like this and that. I'm like, girl, don't you have a newborn at home and a wife who's like still bleeding out from giving birth? Like, why are you so obsessed with Kale? That's so weird. Faye says, hey, Faye, nice to see you. Welcome to the Playback Posse, boo. Gwen says, has anyone let Jenelle know what's going on in Vegas? Cost of living are way up, tourism way down. I saw those videos of how empty like the streets on the strip were. Like, are they real? Like, is it really that bad? I know that like Canadians, we are boycotting the US just based off of the tariff stuff and like the threats of making us a 51st state or whatever. But what about like the international community? You know, like, damn, I didn't know it was that damn bad. Their ratchet Janelle's going to get punched in front of those poor kids again. I'm telling you, I am freaking telling you. Oh my God. Hey, bonjour. Welcome from the bushes. Nice to see you, boo. Honestly, I really do hope that they actually stick to the whole podcast thing. I would love a Jenelle podcast. I'm sorry, y'all. I would love a Jenelle podcast. I listen to multiple of Kale's. I listen to like 3 of hers a week. and they're just getting drier and drier. Every time Kale's real life is getting messier and messier, and as an open book, you would expect for her to open up about that on her podcast, the more the podcasts get more and more boring. You know, they just talk about stupid things and like, you know, it's just nothing, right? Like, anyway, I think that Jenelle would really, really, really put it all out there. And so I'm hoping that they do it. I'm hoping that Tori is the same way, like no shame, just ready to talk about everything, right? That's what I would love. I would love nothing more than that. And I agree. I don't know why she fought so hard. Like you didn't even want to actually deal with them. Like, why don't you just let them go off to like loving homes, nurturing homes and whatnot? She really stole their future from them. She did. Lex says like caramel. No, I love caramel popcorn, y'all. I do. No, it's just sugar. Like they'll put sugar in popcorn instead of like salt. Like, ew, you know, like that's crazy to me. No, that's crazy. Alex says I don't do sugar on my popcorn. Salt and pepper, skinny pop from Costco. Ooh, yummy. I love like white cheddar popcorn too. Toffee pop. Yeah, I like that. I like that. Anything but just straight up putting sugar in your popcorn is fine with me. I love dill pickle, ketchup popcorn, like all dressed popcorn, jalapeno. Oh, do you guys have Colonels in the US? Oh, every time I go back to Canada, you know the first places I go, New York fries for a poutine. Then I like to go to Colonel's for the jalapeno jack popcorn. I love to go to KFC for the KFC popcorn chicken poutine. Like oh my God, the junk food is so elite, like where we're from. You'll have that too, right? In Cinnabon for good cinnamon rolls. Yep, I'm dreaming about it already. Sugar, listen, everybody's so sensitive these days. So I'm sorry again to the sugary popcorn eating community. I hope I did not offend you. I do not want to get canceled. Please don't cancel me. Cara says it's called kettle corn. I like it, unless they're just putting sugar on it. Really? Ew, so nasty. Butter, yes. And I love extra butter on that. Block my arteries one good time. Steph says, I told you what Barbara's doing. She's getting that back blown out. Listen, I hope she is. She deserves it. After everything that she had to put up with, like with all of her children, Jenelle is probably not even her worst child. Like all of her children just did not turn out good, right? And then on top of that, having to raise not just one, but like 2 or 3 grandchildren, like that girl has had a hard life. And she really, really, really deserves to like, you know, just be like living her best life right now. So whatever that looks like for her, if it's like, you know, I don't know, getting her internal organs rearranged, let it be that. If it's vacationing or something, let it be that. I want the best for her right now. Lord. Minnie says, would you? Yeah, I would, y'all. Yes, I would recap her stuff for you. And I think that you guys would love it too. I love mess. And that's one thing that Jenelle can absolutely deliver on. She can't deliver on much, but she can deliver on mess. Oh, Harvey's. Really? I rarely eat at Harvey's, but you know, you reminded me of A&W. I love their burgers. I love their onion rings, and I love their root beer as well. Nikki, you know, people here when I talk about root beer, they're like, what's that? You want to know something else that's so funny about how like we live on completely different planets according to what language we speak. So when I talk to people here, and I was like talking about like something being like rich, someone being rich or whatever. I was like, yeah, ka-ching, ka-ching. And people were like, ka-ching, ka-ching. What's that? What's that mean? I was like, really? You don't know what ka-ching, ka-ching means? Like, wow, it's like we live on completely different planets sometimes. And it's always so fun, these little realizations of how different, like, you know, different languages and cultures all are. Nikki says, this is my sign to go ahead and order the Colonels. Get that jalapeno jack for me, please. Can you send it to me? Grace, you can Oh my God, I'm so scared. Please, guys, please. I apologize. Don't come for me. Don't come for me. Oh my God. Oh God. I love chatting with you guys. I always have the best freaking time with you guys. I was talking about you guys over lunch. I was like, listen, like we talk every single weekday. Like I know so much about them. They know so much about me. Like we just have the best time, and we truly do. So thank y'all so much for being here. We do have another teen mom related story to get into actually. So why don't we go ahead and get into that for now. Okay. So that messy lady from 16 and pregnant, Whitney Purvis, I do have an update for you. And it's crazy because just yesterday, my update was that she was granted bail, right? So that she can go home and hopefully think about what it is that she's done between the mess involving her son's funeral and her friend or lover or whatever ODing, allegedly based off some rugs that she allegedly gave to him. But according to the Ashley's Reality Roundup, Whitney couldn't just sit there and eat her food at home because she was arrested again for probation violation and rug possession. And it only took her a couple of days after being released on bond, you guys. I have to sigh, right? So now she's got 3 new charges, which include 2 felony counts of possession of a Schedule 1 controlled substance and 1 violation of probation. A warrant was issued in Bartow County on Tuesday, and Whitney was taken into custody later that same day. So you guys could check out her new mugshot over on the Ashley'sRealityRoundup.com. And so don't forget that her original charges included involuntary manslaughter, intent to distribute a controlled substance, use of a communication facility in the commission of a felony as well. Oh, Lord, Whitney, you are a freaking mess. Come on now. Come on. Like, you're out on bond and you're over there doing rugs. Really? And part of her conditions was that she had to submit to like testing and whatnot. How are you, like, if they didn't catch you with it, like on you, they would have caught it in the testing. Like, you know, and I get it, like addiction, like you can't control it. Like once you're an addict, like it's really difficult to break out of that. But damn, it's only been a couple of days. You can even last a month or something like that. It's crazy to me. Absolutely crazy. Apparently this woman was so dumb that she might have even brought the rugs with her to the screening. And that's how it got caught. Like, oh my God, I can't. I really cannot with her, honestly. She's facing 10 to 30 years in prison. Okay. Honestly, at this point, please give her at least 10. She's spiraling. If she doesn't get at least like 10 years or something like that, she's never going to get clean and she's not going to survive much longer. This is not, these are not behaviors conducive to a long lifespan, right? She is slowly but surely deleting herself. And so, you know, I think that jail might be the best course of action here. However, I have heard, you know, including from you guys in the chat and just in general, that sometimes, people feel like or say that they have more access to rugs in jail than they do in the outside world or something like that. So that does make me kind of concerned as well. So I don't know, y'all. I don't know. So sad. Paprika, yeah, please keep an eye out. And if you see her, please take a nice picture for us. Boots on the ground. And happy birthday in advance, boo. Nice to see you, Kayan. Welcome. And thank you, Very Sweet. So nice to have you here. Good morning, Trintron. Nice to see you. Thank you. You guys are so sweet. And thank you so much. Sweet bonjour as well. Thank you. Thank you. And yes, unfortunately, her son passed away maybe a month and a half ago. He was only 16 years old. He had a lot of health complications, including, I believe it was type 1 diabetes. And Whitney was like 3 hours late to his funeral. Like, can you imagine being 3 hours late to your own child's funeral and not even showing up early, let alone on time? Insane. Absolutely insane. And I agree with you, Kayla. You know, it hurts to say it, but it's the truth. She's a lost cause, right? And so, yeah, at this point, it's best to just keep her in jail. You know, I don't love jail and everything like that. I wish we could rehabilitate people, but unfortunately, like in certain cases like this, you gotta stick them in there. Huckleberry says, I hope Whitney gets to a point where she actively seeks help for her rug problem. She needs therapy and rehab. I agree. I wonder where all this stems from, because typically, you know, these kinds of problems stem from like extreme trauma or like, you know, just struggles with poverty and whatnot. So I do wonder like what that could be in her case. It's all just so freaking sad, right? I liked it better when Whitney stayed in obscurity. Yeah, it's true. We didn't hear about her. The last time I heard about her before all of this, she was stealing like a pregnancy test at Walmart. And that was like 10 years ago. Now all of a sudden I can't get away from hearing about her. The jailhouse toilet bowl cush. Oh God, how embarrassing. Guys, rugs are not all they're cracked up to be. I don't know why people like hype them up like they're cool, they're fun. Like, it's not cool. It's not fun. It's not all it's hyped up to be, truly, you know? The U.S. prison system is horrible and for profit. And I can agree with that, right? In certain respects. But unfortunately, there's some people, especially dangerous people, where that's the only option we have, you know, like the Kohlberger guy, like someone like that. Oh God, please just let him rot in there, you know? But with people like this, with addiction problems and whatnot, like I wish that we could do like something really intense to help cure them. I really do. Gwen says, yeah, and you can get anything, right? That's what I keep hearing. So I don't know if that's going to ultimately help her to her addiction or not. A, are you here to drag us again, A? Because you dragged us in the Wendy story now. I'm sure she's in a drug haze. Poor thing. Lost a child and contributed to a loved one's death. I'm sure she's inconsolable. I don't think there's help out there for that, sadly, without money and support. And that's the thing. She doesn't have the money. And it doesn't look like her family is all that involved in her life either. So it's just a very, very, very sad situation all the way around, right? I feel for her. I do. You know, like, you don't just make decisions like this out of the blue when your life is going great. To me, this is indicative of a life that's been really hard from the beginning. Huckleberry also says, my mom was in prison for the first 18 years. Oh my God, your entire childhood. And she said the rugs were everywhere in prison. Most times guards sell to inmate. Oh my God. Isn't that sad? Like, you really want for the people to be in there healing and getting cleaned up off of this. Meanwhile, the people who are supposed to be guarding, protecting them, making sure that they don't have access to this stuff, those are the ones who are giving them access to this stuff. That's terrible. So where do you go when you really want to heal? Rehab is kind of exploitative too. You know, they try, but it's so freaking expensive. Like $30K for a week. Sweet Bonjour says, jail is the best place for her. Hopefully she finds her purpose and makes good changes. I agree. Don't people in jail get to study for free, like get a degree or a GED or something? Like, hopefully she could do that. And then she'll be able to hopefully be integrated into the working world. Mandatory rehab, but hopefully free, because that stuff's expensive, right? Whatever happened to Ebony? Oh, right, I remember her. Didn't she become a stripper? Where is Ebony? Hang on. You know what I'm going to do? Let me take a little screenshot and see if I could dig her up and see what she's up to, right? Thanks for that. Good question. What about the girl who had the twins and then like the crazy abusive boyfriend who threw her out of the car in the side of the road? Like that guy. Whatever happened to that guy even? He looked like he was going to delete somebody one day. Gwen says, broken people don't always realize they're broken. Some think they're only self-medicating and getting through the day. That's so sad. And you're right, but it's just so sad. Ebony and I think her name's Josh. He was in the military. Yup, I remember them very clearly. I wish we got to follow their stories. I wish we also got to follow the story of the first abortion on the show. I forgot her name, but I wonder, Marseille or something. I wonder where she's at. They funnel rugs into the prison systems in order to keep people in jail. Oh, there's no escaping. There's no escaping. That is so freaking sad. Good luck to anybody struggling with addiction, struggling with just violence, poverty, anything like that. It's really unfair. Just as jail actually put my cousin on the right path. Oh, good. He was scared to go back because the rugs were everywhere and he did not want the temptation to start again. Yes. Shout out to your cousin, and I'm proud of him, and I'm glad that he was able to turn his life around. And thank you for sharing that positive tidbit. Yes, a little bit of hope, a nice little hopeful message. You guys, listen. I'm getting a little bit parched. I need to fill up my water again. I'm running out. So we do have a word from some of our sponsors, but when we come back, we're going to talk about the Netflix deal that Meghan and Harry had for about $100 million that has just ended. Nikki Bella being on Raya after her divorce. And I do have an update about Malcolm Jamal Warner's tragic drowning. And then we're going to wrap it up with two stories. So Lisa Vanderpump clapping back at Scheana Shay, accusing her of exploiting her and being two-faced. And then Cardi B getting sued for assault and battery by a woman who was, hit by that microphone. Do you remember when Cardi B, she was at this concert and then she felt like this woman threw water on her and then she hit her with that microphone right in the head? Yup, she's about to pay for that. All of that and more on the flip side. Thank you all so much for being here. Please give this stream a thumbs up and I'll catch you in a minute.
The Morning Report is brought to you by Philo. Watch your favorite shows and movies from over 70 different channels, including MTV, TLC, WeTV, and more for only $28 a month. Get a free trial today by clicking the link in the description box of this video to get your free trial up and running.
Tired of learning languages in boring, frustrating ways? Try TalkPal. TalkPal is your personal AI language tutor. It teaches you languages in fun, engaging ways. It gives you real-time feedback, assesses your pronunciation, and the learning process is personalized just for you. Join millions of other learners and start your language learning journey today.
And we are back. We still got plenty more stories for you guys. So no worries if you're only just now popping in. Why don't we talk about Meghan and Harry? They signed a blockbuster reported $100 million deal with Netflix, right? They signed this back in 2020, I believe it is. And now it's done, which I find to be really crazy, right? So they signed this contract 5 years ago. It was a contract for 5 years. Netflix didn't drop them. Like, they completed the 5 years. They released these projects. And, the way it's being presented as if it's some sort of massive failure is very fascinating to me. I would love to fail this way. Please let me get a 5-year contract for $100 million. Let me fulfill my obligations and let that contract expire and call me a failure. I would absolutely freaking love that. I do not understand the logic, right? So basically, the two of them released different projects, right? So you had Harry releasing his Polo documentary, which didn't do well at all. And I'm not surprised. People don't really care about polo like that. Like that's like kind of like a rich, pretentious kind of like, off in your own little world sort of a sport. With Love Meghan, that performed really well for what it was, right? It was a kind of a niche cooking show and a lifestyle show all rolled up into one. And it performed really well, but it depends on what types of metrics you want to use. So as far as that category, she was number one. She dominated it. But then when it compares to everything else on Netflix, the numbers were lower, but that makes sense because it's very niche. It's cooking and lifestyle, right? It's very interesting to me the way that the press tries to really contort themselves to make this look like a failure on their end. I don't get it at all. I think they've done a fantastic job, So the show ranked 10th globally on Netflix's top 10 shows for the whole week after its release. It even hit 7th place in the UK and everything. Like it did really well. It launched her lifestyle brand and, her products are consistently selling out. Like they're killing it. She's friends with the Netflix CEO and his wife. You even saw his wife in an episode. I think it was the finale episode and the one where they're playing that like rich lady game. You saw the Netflix CEO's wife there too. So there's no bad blood between the two of them. I don't understand why this is being portrayed as this like awful thing. It's very fascinating to me, but I digress. So let me see what some of y'all have to say about that. Who's Jennifer? Jennifer had the twins. That girl from 16 and Pregnant. She remarried with a few more kids. She has really? What's her YouTube channel? I'm gonna check her out. Hang on, let me take a screenshot of this too. I'm kind of feeling like a boomer with all these screenshots because I want to see what she's up to. Jennifer Del Rio, I think was her name. Jennifer of the River. Gwen says AA is a cult that can help some. Yeah, the Alcoholics Anonymous, but leaves people with cult-shaped trauma. Oof. Scary stuff. Scary. Anthea's back. Hey, boo. Yeah, another failed business venture. No, what a shocker. No, it was not failed. She fulfilled her 5-year contract. Take that back. It was not a failure. And it came out of nowhere, Faye. Thank you so much. I have no clue where it came from, but it just came out of nowhere. I was like, girl, block. Goodbye. Thank you, though. And look, we match. You and I match in green. Destiny says, hi, Grace. I'm joining late, so I don't know if you covered this, but did you hear Michelle from the Valley broke up with Aaron? I sure did. We are going to be talking about that. So you've joined at the right time. That is one of our stories that we have coming up. And yes, Aaron with the crazy eyes. They were bulging all over the place during that finale episode. Miss T says it was a failure for Netflix, not them. To me, so far, the only thing that failed from their collaboration with Netflix was the Polo documentary. Her show was doing really, really well. It got renewed for a second season, which is coming out this fall. So you know what? I'm loving it. And I did love that show. You guys didn't like it? Oh my God. It was a failure on Netflix and a scam. Y'all didn't like it. It was so good. And yes, y'all, please, if you're enjoying today's episode of The Morning Report, please don't hesitate to go ahead and give it a thumbs up so YouTube knows you enjoy my content. We go live every single weekday morning at 10 a.m. EST to talk about the day's hottest stories. Hey, what is this Glorilla story? What is it? I have no idea about this Glorilla story. I have no clue. So maybe we're going to have to rely on you to spill the tea. Jody says, I do feel for Whitney. She's going through it. She really is. So please, send all the well wishes you guys can her way because she's had a hard life. She really has. Netflix didn't recoup their money, just like Spotify. Yes, they're making money through the deals themselves, but Meghan wants to stay in the spotlight. They didn't recoup their money. Ooh, well, you know what? Shout out to Meghan and Harry for taking their money. Jesse must be elated. Yup. He probably thinks he has a chance with Michelle now. You could see it in the finale episode that he was still in love with Michelle. I don't think she feels the same way, but he definitely is. I thought Meghan and Harry wanted privacy. No, they wanted people to stop stalking them and so that they could be out there on their own terms. Guys, I did not know I was amongst the enemy. They failed because it didn't raise their profile like Meghan wanted. Can their profile be raised any higher though? They're already A-list. All these busy deals going to make it harder for her to get any more or bust deals. I don't know. I thought, listen, we'll keep an eye out on it, you guys. We'll keep an eye on it. But I think they're still going to be able to continue because they're so talked about. They're so like searched and whatnot. And, you know, like I said, her As Ever brand is really doing well and everything also. So I'm really, really excited. I'm looking forward to seeing what they come up with next. A says it was for felony rug possession in Georgia after the Glorilla, the rapper, she got arrested. And she has a DUI? I love Glorilla. No. And y'all know I can't stand drunk drivers. Are you kidding me? Oh my God, Glorilla. Why? Ew. Well, thank you for filling me in on that. I had no freaking idea. Oh my God. I'm really disappointed. I keep saying it. Like, rugs are not cool. They're so lame. Like, don't do this stuff, guys. Please don't do this stuff. Don't drive drunk. Even drinking is like not even all that great either. Y'all know I've been like on my sober journey for the past 5 months or something, like, and I just have no desire. You know, even when we go out, like maybe we're going to dance or this or that, I just have no desire. And honestly, once you stop, and I'm not like 100% like I'm never gonna. It's just you just realize like why is it so normalized that every time you go out with people, it has to be like with a glass of wine or a beer or like, you know what I mean? Like a cocktail. Like, why can't I just go out and have a coffee? You know what I mean? Like a cappuccino or a juice, you know, like something. My oldest sister, who's a fan of Meghan, is Tori. Listen, tell her to come here. I'm going to give her the bright side. That show did really well. Season 2 is coming out later on. Her As Ever products are selling out. Like, come on now. Come on. Y'all know I love Meghan. I'm never gonna abandon my girl. That's my girl, and I'm sticking beside her. And you know, by extension, Harry too. The way he rides for her is so beautiful. So yeah, I really do like him. SU Bonjour says, I don't understand the hate against Meghan and Harry. My name is Meghan, so I can't accept Meghan hate. Listen, we're gonna band together and defend our girl. Like, I love her. I think she's so sweet. Like, she gets people so worked up. I don't get it. But I really like her. I think she's so fabulous, so beautiful, just such a well-rounded person all around, truly, you know, and I think they make a really beautiful couple as well. Now, speaking of couples, why don't we talk about somebody who's trying to get into a coupling, but it's not working out so much just yet. Do you guys remember Nikki Bella? Listen, y'all know I grew up on WWE, so I always get excited when I get to squeeze in a story about a WWE superstar, especially if it's Nikki Bella, because I loved her show Total Divas, right? So she's got an update on what her dating life is looking like since her divorce from her husband, Artem Chingvitsev. Okay. So Nikki says that she has signed up for the popular celebrity dating app Raya. However, she has not yet gone out on any dates. She says she's not looking for anything serious. She got onto the app after experiencing loneliness while traveling. And, so I guess she's kind of looking for a hookup because she doesn't feel like she's ready for a serious relationship. And she doesn't want anything to interfere with her son and I as well, right? So just keeping things simple. Okay, good luck to her on that, right? She hasn't been interested in a serious relationship in years, apparently. Well, that's what I mean when I say that a lot of people on dating apps are just time wasters. Because what is this? You know, you're on a dating app. You don't really want to see anybody all that regularly. I guess you're just trying to get railed or something like that, and that's it. Like, there's just so many time wasters on these things. Obviously, it's still a good way to meet people, but like, yeah, keep your eyes open because there's a lot of time wasters on here who, maybe haven't fully healed from, their situations, right? Like you saw what happened with her and Artem. To be honest, throughout her entire marriage and courtship with Artem, I thought she still wasn't over her ex, John Cena. And so now she's got, maybe still not over John Cena, but also she's dealing with the trauma of her DV, her marriage ending in a DV incident and all that being public as well, right? So she is seeing somebody right now. Well, actually, no, she wants to see somebody. And so her type is like a businessman with style and a cool vibe overall, right? But for now, she just wants to text people. Listen, a lot of these people just want to text your freaking hands off. Did you guys ever experience that on those dating apps where like just people like they're just texting with you, and you're like, like, I don't know you to be like interested in texting you like that, right? Like there's a lot of people who are really just trying to text you like crazy because they're lonely, right? And if you're not experiencing that loneliness or whatever, it's kind of weird because you're serious about meeting somebody. You're not trying to fill in this like hole of like loneliness or anything like that. Very interesting stuff. A says, love the Bella twins, but they are a mess. Even Bree, I thought Bree's life seemed really, really nice and settled. Hey, Shem, nice to see you, boo. let me say Nikki has been bad, but she's even badder since the divorce, okay? Have y'all seen her lately? Body been tea, body stay tea. Absolutely. She is a lifelong beauty, truly. She's so, and I love her energy. Like, I feel like her beauty radiates from the inside out. Like, I really, really do love her. And I'm rooting for her to find her soulmate. She's like a true lover girl. And, you know, I love a good lover girl. Theo says Nikki Bella was on The Traitors. I can't remember if she did well or not. Really, was she? Oh my God. Did you like her? Like, did she come across as likable at least? Well, Miss Fluffy says, just join. Good morning. What time did you start talking about Jenelle? Good morning, little Miss Fluffy. And you know what? I take my timestamp notes very seriously now, ever since, you know, I forgot her name. So shout out to you if you're here. But there's this lady or this girl who used to come and like yell at me, like, guys, you gotta put timestamps. So now I note them. So we talked about Jenelle at 37 minutes. Okay. Shout out to that. And thanks for being here, little Miss Fluffy. Theo says she was very mid. Mid, as in like not that pretty. Theo, you said this. Come answer for this. She's not over John. And I agree. And I'm not over her relationship with John either. So I can't even judge her. I wasn't in this relationship, but I'm not over it, right? It has nothing to do with me, but I am still sad. So if I were her, I'd be sad about it too. And I don't know why, because John sounded like the ultimate prick. Like, that guy was so miserable. Like, she just had this happy, floaty, airy, bubbly energy, right? And so he's like, here's a cohabitation agreement. If we break up, you leave all the gifts I give you here and you get out of my house within 7 days. Like, miserable. She tried to like cook him a special dinner in the kitchen. He's like, you're not supposed to touch anything in this kitchen. It's supposed to be sterile. Oh, Lord, right? Ali says, no, it was an act she made on the show. Really? I'm gonna have to go take a look at that because I missed it. I finally have access to Traitors. You know what else I finally watched? I finally watched It Ends With Us. A lot of people said it wasn't a good movie, but I'm gonna be honest with y'all. I kind of liked it. I thought it was a pretty good movie. I thought that the two of them did a great job. But there's this guy who was the like boyfriend who was like homeless when she was young. That guy, to me, he's not physically attractive, right? But his accent or his voice or something was so hot to me. Like when they played the older version and he owned the restaurant, like that guy, oh my God. I thought that he was like, oh Lord, you know, I was getting hot and bothered over that guy. He was a total prick, you know, but maybe that's why it's so hard for her to get over him, you know, like it's typically the toxic ones that you have a harder time getting over than the nice ones, unfortunately. He says, no, It Ends With Us was really, I liked it. I think I have a problem, y'all, because, you know, you guys, I typically like things that people don't like. Like, people be like, that's so lame. That's so like, you know, low budget or something. I'm like, wow, that was fantastic. That was theater. That was art. Steph says It Ends With Us was a good movie. Okay, well, thank you. Look, at least a handful of us like that movie, right? It was pretty good. I liked it. The rooftop scene made me cringe into fetal. Did it really? Oh my God. There was a scene that I thought was really lame, but I couldn't even tell you what it was. But overall, I actually quite enjoyed it. I didn't like the opening scene when like she was acting kind of like weird about her dad's passing. Like, I felt like the acting in that was not great, to be honest with you. But I see what you mean about the rooftop, where he's trying to be like such a bad boy and whatnot. I see you. This is another Jason. Oh yeah, that's what it is. And I still can't believe y'all don't find that man hot. Like, oh my God, I think he's so hot. More for me. And yes, Miss T, honestly, and you know what? Shout out to you guys for still like tuning in and chatting with me. Because, you know, I imagine you guys are like rolling your eyes so hard at the people I like and whatnot, but y'all are still riding with me. So I love that. Thank you guys. You guys are so sweet. The rooftop was cringe though. It was kind of, right? Like, you could tell that like they were having a hard time with it. Like, you could see that they're acting. The suspension of disbelief was not there, right? It was okay. Could have been worse. Right. It was a good chill. I was watching it when I was taking down my old braids, you know, and I thought it was pretty good. Right. And you're not kidding, Miss T. And that's okay, Bill. Maybe Janet takes away his hotness like a leech. I think that's what it is. I still don't get how she scored him. I'm sorry, but really? I don't get it, but okay. He's happy for now. That's good. Speaking of Janet, why don't we get back into the Bravo universe? Oh my God, we've got a lot to talk about as far as that is concerned, right? And actually, wait. Before we even get into that, I want to get into the Malcolm Jamal Warner story. So give me one quick second. Sorry about that. I accidentally skipped past it. So a few of you lovely ladies have been bringing up the Malcolm Jamal Warner drowning story, right? So he unfortunately passed away in Costa Rica while on vacation with his wife and daughter. And now some new details have been released in regards to what exactly happened on that fateful day. So let me see if I've got some of these pictures loaded up for you guys, because there's some signage that was made available on that beach on the day that he was swimming, that TMZ gained access to, and they shared in their story, in regards to what went wrong there. Okay. So let me take the screenshot and upload it for you guys, because I do not want to misspeak on this. I want to read it bar for bar. So the name of the beach, he was on the coast of Socles Beach in Costa Rica, right? And he was actually swimming with his daughter. It was initially thought that he was alone and that his daughter and his wife, they were just up there on the beach kind of sunbathing, waiting for him to come back. But no, he had been swimming with his daughter at the time of his passing. So that leads me to believe, again, similar to the Naya Rivera story, right? Where Naya Rivera, she was on the boat, I think it was Lake Lanier, and then she had pushed to get her son to safety, and that used all the energy that she had, and so she wasn't able to save herself. That is what this is sounding like, okay? So according to TMZ, there were signs already made available letting people know that it was dangerous to be going far and to be swimming on that beach, okay? And so let me see. They were caught in a rip current. Surfers nearby intervened to help, and one surfer used his board to rescue Malcolm's daughter. And a volunteer lifeguard pulled him and another surfer to shore, where he received 45 minutes of CPR but could not be revived. He was pronounced dead on the scene, unfortunately. He was 54 years old, and apparently the beach where he drowned had multiple warning signs posted, including high risk for drowning, rip currents here all year. And obviously this is not to blame him for his death, right? But it's just to kind of paint a picture of what that beach was like in general, right? And that it was kind of known that that was a very difficult place to swim in, unfortunately, right? But that doesn't mean that nobody swims there, right? Obviously there were people swimming there, but there were these kinds of signs. But here's the thing, have we not seen signs like this before at beaches and kind of swam anyway? I don't really swim like that, so I never go much further than maybe here or whatever. And even here is like, oh my God, I feel like I'm gonna panic, right? So typically a little bit lower. But I have seen signs like this nonetheless. So to me, it doesn't mean that he was being negligent or anything like that. To me, it's just, okay, this is a sign that you see on the beach and you take care with that sign. And then maybe you kind of look at the water for yourself. And someone like him who was an experienced swimmer probably didn't see the actual signs of it being particularly dangerous, right? They have these signs up. However, they allow for people to swim on the beach. So how bad can it really be, right? And again, I'm not really a swimmer. So you guys who actually get out there far into the water can let me know, because you have a different way of looking at these things and thinking about these things than people like me who are, barely getting in past their hips, right? So there were no lifeguards on duty at the time of the incident as well, by the way, you guys. So let me go ahead and take a look at what some of you guys have to say about this in the comment section. Once again, rest in peace to Malcolm Jamal Warner, because he's gone too soon. He seemed like such a beautiful person, and this is a very, very big loss for the entire world. Huckleberry says, I feel awful for Malcolm's family. To watch your spouse and father drown is absolutely horrible for anyone to go through. I hope they have lots of loved ones around to help them during this time, and amen to that. The fact that his daughter, was there, they were both being rescued together, and unfortunately he didn't make it. It's almost like, the trauma of seeing that and the trauma of survivor's guilt as well, right? And swimming. I imagine she might even develop a phobia of swimming or something like that. Steph says, I don't know. You remember that my theory was that he was probably trying to help someone in the water, right? Yeah, I remember you saying that. And, he seemed like the person who had the heart to do something like that too. And it's all just so sad. This reminded me of Naya Rivera too, says Theo. So sad, right? Very, very sad, honestly. Drowning sounds like one of the worst possible ways to die. Absolutely just tragic, tragic, tragic. Linda says, it truly breaks my heart that his daughter was in the water with him. Trauma. Amen, amen, amen. Absolutely devastating, sad stuff. So once again, rest in peace to Malcolm Jamal Warner. And thank you for that, Allie. I don't even know what, people would be looking for before getting into the water, right? Apparently you can't even see a riptide. Right. So how do people know just how far they can go in the water? Because again, if they're keeping that beach open nonetheless, and they're saying it's dangerous, I don't know. That doesn't feel okay to me, because typically in certain beaches, like if it gets to be too dangerous past a certain point, they'll like rope it off so people can't go further, like in the water with the buoys and stuff. So I kind of wonder why they didn't do that here. Cammy says, I'm glad the surfer saved his daughter at least. How sad for her to lose her dad like that. Amen. Yes. And shout out to the Good Samaritans, the surfers who tried their best to help. And, even though they weren't able to save his life, they did bring him to shore as well. And that must have been traumatic and just really shocking for them, transporting a dead body on your surfboard, right? And to the people who gave 45 minutes of CPR, like that is not easy at all either, right? I remember seeing when I was scrolling on Instagram Reels or maybe on TikTok or something, but a video. And so it was like this person was white though, and they had drowned. And so obviously they blurred the person's face, but because the person they were so pale, you could see their color changing from like no longer being able to breathe. And it was a really haunting sight. Like they were bright purple, right? From having drowned in there. And it's just such a sad thing. Steph says this goes along with how you said his daughter will always remember this. She'll have a weird relationship with the beach now, maybe. Exactly, right? Like normally when you're thinking of the beach, right? Like look at Roson's picture, right? You're like beauty, relaxation, like yes, looking forward to a vacation. Now for her, it has a completely different association. And I feel like that is just so sad. And I agree, maybe they might sue for this, but remember this happened in Costa Rica. So I don't know if you could be as litigious there as you are in the United States, for example, right? Like there should have been lifeguards in place. There was a volunteer lifeguard there who tried to help. And I assume that's the person who did the CPR, but it's not enough, right? Gwen says, I only went in the ocean once as a bucket list thing. I'm a great swinger, but it went up to my chest. Yeah, you were smart to not go too far, Gwen, even if you're a strong swimmer, right? Like the ocean sounds like a really, really, really scary place. Kahara says, so sad. I loved his character in The Resident. Such a good show. I know. He was so freaking talented. He always says the signs are in Spanish. Not sure if he was able to read Spanish. It's crazy. I didn't even look to properly read what they were saying. Yeah. No. It was in English. The signs were in English. So he would have been able to read them. Huckleberry says the ocean itself is already dangerous enough, but then you add rip currents. I snorkeled in the ocean once or twice, but I prefer pools. Yeah, you got to stay safe out there, guys. Honestly, I hate that his life was taken from him like this. This is a really painful way to go out. God bless him. Again, rest in peace, Michael Jamal Warner. You were just such a beautiful person. Obviously, like we didn't know him like that, but you could just see the beautiful energy that he radiated. You guys, why don't we pick things up a little bit and talk about Vanderpump Rules, okay? So there's some beef between Scheana Shay and her former boss, Lisa Vanderpump, that I thought you guys would be interested in. So as Scheana is promoting her book, she's sharing certain passages from it where she talks about feeling exploited by Lisa Vanderpump and whatnot, which is absolutely hilarious, right? And ridiculous. Scheana has wanted to be rich and famous her entire life, right? She was sleeping around with married men for the opportunity to be famous. She brags about all the people, famous actors, singers, athletes that she has been railed by. Okay. So for her to now turn around and say that she was exploited by Lisa Vanderpump is just ridiculous. Okay. Lisa Vanderpump is finally clapping back. So she caught up with TMZ and told them, quote, I don't care what she says. I'm more concerned about Ozzy Osbourne dying. That's the saddest thing. Important things are what matter to me, not her BS. Damn. So you know what this is giving? This is giving Lisa Vanderpump versus Stassi in season 3, where Stassi in her green dress goes, oh, you hate me, Lisa. What does Lisa say? You're not important enough to hate. Sit down. That's what that's giving, right? Scheana has just been trying as hard as she can to get Lisa's attention. And I don't get why she's going about it this way. She has been loyal, like a really, really, really loyal employee to Lisa for years, right? So how do you go from that and being rewarded for your loyalty by being given a spot on the show? Like, does she know that she didn't have to take the role? Like, there are plenty of people who work at SUR, who worked at Villa Blanca, who didn't do the show, right? Some people were approached, they turned it down. So why is she acting like there was a gun held to her head and she was forced to film for this? Like, she was excited. She was ecstatic. Like, and she even talks in her book about how, she got demoted around season 10 and she really wanted to make that money, right? So she kept on trying to do these different things like egg on Rachel/Raquel and Tom Schwartz making out and whatnot, because that got her more camera time. So in that situation, you're exploiting Katie Maloney's heartbreak over her divorce for a spot on a show, for camera time, right? While you're claiming that Lisa Vanderpump, who gave you this opportunity in the first place, is exploiting you. She is so hypocritical, and I really hate to see people bite the hand that feeds them like this. You know, this is not a smart move at all. Ali says Scheana is exhausting, and I agree. Listen, pretty privilege, right? Like, I always thought Scheana was like just absolutely gorgeous, so I would ignore some of her actions, right? Because I was just so distracted by her beauty. But now that I am awake, I see just how terrible she is, especially as I do my binging of my rewatching. I'm on season 8 right now. She really is just a difficult person to be around. Hey, Dawn, nice to see you. Good morning, sunshine. And thank you, Shem Jem. Yes, you guys, if you're enjoying today's episode of The Morning Report, please don't hesitate to give it a thumbs up so YouTube knows you enjoy my content. Thanks, boo. Ali says she's giving Nicki Minaj the Vanderpump Rules. She's just trying to get a beef going. Exactly. And it's embarrassing for her. She doesn't need to do this. Her life is messy enough. I just would even want a book of all the people that she's hooked up with, dated. Like, that alone would be scandalous, right? Like, in the best way possible. She doesn't have to stoop this low, right? Theo says Scheana is so desperate for fame. It's kind of funny. Exactly, right? And I feel like in that vein, you got to be nice to people like LVP. LVP, how many shows does she have? She's got Vanderpump Rules, Vanderpump Dogs, Vanderpump Villa. The Valley is a spinoff of her show. And then she did another show with somebody else, right? Like a talk show type thing. Like, that's somebody you're supposed to keep close to you, right? Like, that's who you stick with. And she is on the outs with her now. Like, that is so not smart at all, at all. Rosun says, being told I wasn't important enough not to hate with you by 13th reason because what the... Right? Like, that was so freaking iconic. And Stassi deserved it. Listen, everybody hated Stassi so much in season 3, and for good reason. She acted like she was so above everybody because she was with that boyfriend, Patrick, the douche lord of all douche lords, who hated her. He treated her like garbage. And she's like, yeah, like me and my boyfriend who treat me like garbage. We're too good for you guys. And then, like, you cut to her, like, begging him, please don't break up with me. Like, she was a pick-me, like a hardcore pick-me. Cammy says, I stay close to shore when exactly, me too. Listen, there's no shame, you guys. There's no shame in not going out as far as possible, right? Safety is paramount. We only have one life. Ali says that's why she stays in every frame. Exactly. She's just so, I like her still. I don't know why I still like her despite seeing all of these flaws and things that annoy me, but like, she really needs to reevaluate some of this marketing strategy. Damn, Grace, good point on the hypocrisy. Well, thank you, right? Like, come on, girl. Like, again, I like her, but like, she's not a victim. She was the one who was calling the paparazzi and like talking to all these outlets, doing television interviews about like dating that married man, the Eddie Cibrian. I'm like, shut up, girl. Like, ew. Thank you, Huckleberry. Yes, you guys, please, let's get those likes up if you're enjoying today's episode of the show. Alice says she needs to try to fight with people in her pay bracket. Oh, ow. Right. Come on. You guys are not even in this. What is that Mariah Carey song? I'm the press conference. You're a conversation. Period. Scheana works overtime at being unlikable. Smart. Exactly. And I hate it because overall, I do think she's a really nice and sweet girl. So I hate when these other aspects of her personality that are a bit more negative take center stage, right? Scheana out here biting the hand that feed her. Exactly. I don't like it. It's not going to end well for her. And Scheana, listen, you got your daughter to feed and you got your deadbeat husband to feed and his child support to keep up with. So, tread lightly. This is not smart on your end at all. So one of you guys did ask me about the Valley breakup. So why don't we go ahead and talk about that? So was it you, Destiny? Yeah, it was you, Miss Girl. Destiny says that she wanted to talk about the breakup between Michelle and Aaron. Why don't we get into that? Okay. But actually, before we get into that, I wanted to get into a final comment on the story from Dawn. Scheana, in her book, claims to have hooked up with Jesse. Oh, yeah. Jesse Metcalf, Jesse McCartney, too. Eddie Cibrian, John Mayer, Shamar Moore, Josh Hopkins, Shane West, JC Chavez, Adrian. It's so much, right? Which, good for you, girl. This is a good list. However, how is it that you were boning all these hot rich guys and you end up with a broke, not hot guy? He's not ugly, but he's not hot. You know what I mean? Like, how did you end up with that? And she's so beautiful. Scheana, to me, she's beautiful, like absolutely freaking beautiful. Every time I see her on the screen, I'm like, wow, like she is so beautiful. So how is it that this was the best she could do? I think it's because she's too needy and too clingy. You got to play it cool with men, unfortunately. If you're a lover girl, play it cool. Don't be too up there. Anyway, let's get into the crazy eye story. Once again, shout out to you, Destiny, and everybody else who brought this up. I think Jaleesa maybe, or Theo also brought it up. Maybe it was Shem Jem. So these two have officially broken up, it looks like. It's not yet confirmed, but it looks like they have broken up. And it's funny because when I was recapping the finale of The Valley yesterday, I was like, are they still together? Because she was just talking up a good game. Listen, when you talk too much, especially positively, about your man, he's going to blow that up in your face. So you can't be doing that. You know what I mean? Like, she was doing too much too soon for this man. And now an Instagram page that is called, what is this called? The Bravo Investigator did some digging and found that Michelle no longer follows Aaron on Instagram. So they said, is it the eyes? So it kind of looks like this is the millennial way of announcing a breakup. Is anybody really surprised? Because I'm not. Maybe it's because of Jesse, because Aaron did threaten Michelle in the past that, like, if Jesse doesn't kind of butt out of their relationship with his negativity and everything, like, he's going to walk away from their relationship. Or maybe it's because Michelle kept on pushing for more, right? She moved in with him very quickly. Then she started hinting a lot at marriage and having, another child and everything. That might have been too much for him. You know what I say? And maybe it's like a little too stereotypical, but I feel like once a man hits a certain age, if he's never been married or engaged or something like that, no kids, he's probably never going to do it. Maybe that's just not his vibe, right? And I kind of feel like that might be what the situation is with Aaron. Maybe it got too real for him. And he was like, actually, I don't want this. Like, I go from being like, this entrepreneur, selling honey, living free, doing what I want, to now playing Mr. Dad or whatever, Mr. Man, like, and then she wants me to get married to her and have more kids. Like, I feel like that's probably what happened. I think they got along well. However, it's just all the responsibility that comes with Michelle that might have been too much for him. I kind of think he used her for promotion. She was promoting his, listen, I hope she got like a check for that, right? She brought his honey to the clubhouse. She was shutting it out on the show. She did an event centered around his honey. Like, she was giving him like tens of thousands of dollars, if not hundreds of thousands of dollars in free promo, which, I hate to see. She was down bad, right? Ali says, thank God we don't have to deal with crazy ass next season. What is he on? Do you don't think he's on coke? Because, like, he was bugging, especially in that finale. Like, he was bugging. She stays with those J names. Oh, Ali's the one who hates the J names. Gotta get away from those J names. Thank you, Steve Bonjour. Thank you. Theo says Scheana bragging about all those guys is just so tacky. And I agree, like, what's the point of bragging about all these? Especially if you end up with Brock at the end of the day. Like, I would be bragging about it if I wound up with like a catch, the catch of all catches, But if I wind up with Brock and I'm like supporting him and paying off his child support, and we're talking about how he beat up his ex-wife and how he cheated on me while I was pregnant, I would not be bragging about all the like freaking heartthrobs I was, boning back in the day. That's like so embarrassing to me, because it's an impressive list otherwise, until you look at what she wound up with after all that. I love Barbara. I hope she's drinking wine and dating 5 different dudes. Amen, Faye. Amen. Bye, Gwen. Nice to see you. Have a great appointment. And I hope to see you again for tomorrow's episode, boo. Adriana says, I believe Candace. Oh, you guys, some of you guys are part of the Playback Posse. Shout out to you guys at the Playback Posse. I'm like, what's going on with this? Alex says he's on one of those white powdery substance. Honestly, I wouldn't be surprised. Like, he is just, a lot. J names really are like dating Geminis. Don't even get me started on the Geminis. I got a little bit of a heart attack at the thought of dating a Gemini, man. Oh my God, terrifying. What time is it on your end? Great question, Steph. It's 5:37 on my end. So after I do this, I'm going to make myself a dinner. Don't make fun of me, you guys, but I've been really into air fryer steak. I put my steak in the air fryer. It's not as good as air fryer pork chops, but I really like it nonetheless. Huckleberry confirmed. J names are not it. So now you know, ladies, do not get involved with J names. It doesn't end well more often than not. And don't get involved with Gemini men either. Okay, don't do it. Very dangerous territory. You guys, why don't we get into our final story of the day? We got to talk about how exactly. Listen, the girls are always okay. Girls are angels, right? But when it comes to the men, ça c'est autre chose. That's another thing. So why don't we get into our final story? We're going to talk about Cardi B getting sued. Oh, Cardi B, why did you do this, girl? Do you remember that video of her like whopping a chick over the head with her mic because she thought the girl threw water on her? Mind you, if you watch the extended version of this video, Cardi had specifically asked the audience, because it was hot, to like kind of spray water, right? And so then she did this for a moment, because I think 50 Cent had done that, like just like a little bit prior to her doing this. And it's just not ending well for her. I don't know why this person took 2 years to sue her, but here we are. She's filing under Jane Doe, which is strange because we've got video of you. You don't need to hide, boo. And Cardi saw your face too, right? So she said that she was at Dre's nightclub during Cardi B's performance when Cardi invited the crowd to throw water on her to cool off in the extreme heat. And we saw that in the video. That is true. Jane Doe says that she complied like many others, but Cardi allegedly retaliated by throwing a microphone at her, hitting her directly. A video from the event showed Cardi reacting positively to some fans who threw the water, but another clip captured her chucking the mic into the crowd. Hang on. Into the crowd. Cardi was investigated by police at the time, but was not charged. The microphone involved was later sold for $99,000. You know, whenever I see things like this, like memorabilia selling for almost like 6 figures, I'm like, people are not taxed enough, because how are you spending that money on a microphone and people are starving, right? People are homeless. That's insane. With proceeds going to charity, but Jane Doe claims this public sale exacerbated her emotional distress. Her attorney, Sierra Norris, is holding a press conference in Las Vegas on Thursday regarding the lawsuit. On a press conference. I'm sorry, that's crazy. Cardi's team has so far declined to comment. Why didn't this girl go and take it? Like, this is the weapon you give to the police. She hit me with this. Why didn't the police take it? Like, you guys investigated Cardi. Wouldn't you need like the weapon for this investigation? This whole story is crazy. Again, Cardi B was captured on camera inviting people to spray water on her. So why she acted like this, I don't know. It was stupid, and it's going to cost her big time, as it should. Steph is coming over in 30 minutes. Yes, come on over. Let's eat, girl. Let's eat. Sam says Gemini women are givers. Gemini men are takers, a la Kanye West and Donald Trump, period. I think women in general are more so on the giving side. You know, it's kind of like that flamingo analogy about how like flamingos, they're so beautifully pink. And then, you know, when they have their babies and they're raising them and like, you know, they're giving their life force to their babies, they like go pale. It's just such a fascinating like story, right? That's how I see women sometimes with like relationships and whatnot. I have 3 brothers with J names. Woo! Be careful. Well, you know what? Luckily, you're not going to be dating them. But just know they might be terrorizing women on the low. My brother's kind of terrorizing women. But you know what? He doesn't do it on purpose. He wants to be in a look, not me turning this into a therapy. Listen, y'all, let me tell you this. My brother's a nice person, right? And ladies love him. Like, ladies love him so much. They're like running out, like they do all the pursuing. And I keep saying, like, don't do it. You know, don't go and pursue a man, because the only girls that he actually wants to be with are the girls who do not pursue him and do not pay him any mind, right? Anyway, that's a story for another day. I can get into that another time, but his dating life is a mess. And I'm right there with you, Steph. I feel like we all feel that same way. I think there's one person here who likes Gemini men. You know, I don't think she's here. Maybe she's going to be back for the playback posse. I forgot who it was, but she's always writing for the Gemini men. This is interesting. Air fried steak. Yeah, you have to try it. It's so quick, so easy, so like clean too. Like, instead of like all the mess that comes with putting it in the pan. And I like it so much. But pork chop is even better. So if you eat pork, try the air fryer pork chop. Shai says Gemini men are the problem, not Gemini. Period. Girl power over here. Huckleberry says, I'm interested in the details on this Cardi B case. Why did Cardi hit her? Yeah, exactly. Like, it just feels like maybe everybody did it at the same time, and this girl did it at another time. Like, maybe like 30 minutes later, an hour later, maybe she like threw the water aggressively. I don't know. But like, nonetheless, like throwing that mic at somebody, like, remember the 50 Cent, when he whipped that mic at that girl's face, like, she fractured her skull. Like, she has a permanent indent in her skull now, right? Like, this is dangerous business. And microphones are heavy already. Heavy. If you've ever held a microphone, like at a karaoke party or something, they're heavy. Didisha says she should have sued Cardi. Like, oh, exactly. Why did she wait 2 to 3 years? That is so stupid, right? People are so effing greedy, period. Wait, you're saying she shouldn't sue Cardi? Listen, I would sue Cardi too. The chick that Rihanna hit sued her the same week. Exactly. As she should. Sue them immediately. Don't wait. Sue immediately. Huckleberry says, I honestly feel like this girl did something else. Cardi shouldn't be hitting folks with mics, but what's the full story here? Listen, we'll see how this all plays out in court because there's always, multiple sides to every story. Which brother is this? Oh, it's my older brother. Yeah. So he'll entertain these chicks who pursue him or whatever, but he knows he doesn't really like them. And then he gets all torn up about it. I'm like, so why don't you just not anyway, listen, it's a long story. Yeah, that's what I think it is. I'm like, is he disorganized? Is he fearful avoidant, or is he just straight up avoidant? But whatever it is, it's not healthy, but he doesn't listen to me. So I don't really like talking to him about his dating life. Sarah says, off topic, Grace, do you watch the Teen Mom UK version? No, I have never seen it. It's good. You like it? And they're still going. A says she'll settle for a $3,000 profit after the lawyers. Ooh, not frivolous. Damn, I'm hoping she makes a lot more than that. Miss T, Gemini men are exciting. And I mean that in a good way and a bad. Oh, girl, I mean that in a bad way. Some bad excitement. Oh, my God. Get you out of character excitement. Oh, my God. Carly. Hey, Carly. Nice to see you, boo. Nice to see you. We're wrapping up, though, unfortunately. And for struggle is real as well. But it's nice to see you guys. Good morning, my sunshines. Says the people who sold the mic for $99,000, greedy folks. Those people. Yeah. That's so weird, right? Also, the people who pay that much. Exactly. You shouldn't have $99,000 to burn on a freaking microphone. Come on now. Rasom says, Cardi said it happened the way you described. She said she asked the audience to stop and the girl threw water a long while. So there you go. But at the same time, to throw the mic, a weapon that heavy, I think that's going to cost her. The girl was wrong, but I don't think she deserved to get hit in the head with a microphone. Because again, when 50 Cent did it, he fractured that woman's skull, and Cardi could have fractured this woman's skull as well. Imagine if this even hit you in the eye or in the nose. Imagine breaking your nose. Oof, like that. Good. Candace Owens need to be sued. Period. Hey, fragrance and lifestyle. Period. Sarah says it's really good because the UK version is Teen Mom. Okay, let me take a look. Because I've heard about it, but I've never seen it. I don't know where to find it, though. Celebrities like Cardi should know better. Yeah, and I agree. Cardi's so dumb. Listen, sorry, but she's kind of dumb. She's always getting caught up in lawsuits and stuff over her own stupidity. Imagine losing money this way because you don't know how to act. Embarrassing at your grown age. How many kids do you have? You got 3 kids and you're still acting a plum fool. Anyway, y'all, listen. I'm getting hungry. I'm going to go make my little air fryer steak. I like to eat it with bell peppers and some broccoli as well. So I'm going to go ahead and make that tonight. I would have loved to make steak frites, but I don't have any fries. So I'll do that. Thank y'all so much for joining me for another episode of The Morning Report. I love when we go over like this. It's so fun. Thank you. I had a really great time chatting with you guys, and I hope it was, the same on your end. And don't forget, we go live every single weekday morning at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time to talk about the day's hottest stories. So I will be back tomorrow for our final episode of the week at 10 a.m. Take care, you guys, and I'll see you next time. Bye.